condemning the violence in the Strip, saying it's biased against Israel. Let's get up to speed on New York. RT's Marina Portnaya is there. Hi, Marina. Bring us up to speed. What is the latest?
Well, the latest is that the U.S. mission to the United Nations said that the draft press statement on the Israeli-Gaza conflict was unacceptable. Therefore, the U.S. could not support it. Now, the U.S. says this is because the statement failed to address the root cause of the current escalation, which Washington says is the barrage of rocket attacks from Gaza into Israel. Now, the Moroccan draft press statement called for an immediate end to violence and underscored the Security Council's support for Egypt and efforts by others to work towards a negotiated ceasefire. The statement also called for the unimpeded provision and distribution throughout Gaza of humanitarian assistance, food, and medical treatment. Additionally, the draft deplored the loss of civilian lives resulting from the escalation in violence. Now, Security Council press statements require unanimous approval in order to be adopted. In this case, the U.S. did not show its support, and the Security Council could not speak with one voice on this issue. Now, on Monday, Russian ambassador to the UN, Vitaly Churkin, accused the U.S. of filibustering the Council. Now, for its part, Moscow has drafted a resolution on the Israeli-Gaza conflict calling for a ceasefire. It also expresses support for international and regional mediation efforts, and it also urges the Palestinians and the Israelis to resume overall Mideast peace talks. But if the Russian draft doesn't specifically fault the Hamas rocket attacks leading up to the Israeli airstrikes last week, then the U.S. has said it will not support that measure. Now, the Security Council is currently holding consultations behind closed doors, possibly discussing Russia's draft resolution. Once more information becomes available, Kevin, we will, of course, update our viewers.
Yeah, thanks, Marina. Marina Portnaya in New York, keeping tabs of that side of it there. Well, for more comment, I spoke to Professor of Politics from New York University, Patricia De Gennaro. She told me she believes Hamas never wanted the standoff to turn this ugly.
Israel is making a strategic miscalculation at this point. They have now the Obama administration in 4 more terms, which they're able to be a little more aggressive on a peace treaty. In addition to that, you'll find within the context of the neighborhood that people, you know, they really want to see a solution to this issue, this Arab-Israeli conflict, Arab-Palestinian conflict. They're seeing that Israel is becoming more aggressive in the occupied territories, specifically the West Bank. I don't think Hamas wants to be more aggressive. I think they were legitimate. I'm not saying they won't be aggressive, which they certainly will, because they still feel that they're under occupation. But, you know, it's important to note here that they have been trying to govern this area, and they still have competition within the area from, you know, some of the other movements. So it's very hard for them to govern if we don't give them support. And I think this is why it's extremely, extremely important for the Arab League and the Egyptians to step up and speak in order to help them and give them some legitimacy.
We're following developments in the Middle East conflict for you on air and online.